Okay, so for participation one, the grades again are in eCourses as we speak, and you can see the answers here. I've placed them as a PDF. So when you first go to open this and the PDF downloads, you'll see the distribution. So let's wait for that to come up. So you had 3 questions, and we have 30% for A, 30% for B, and 40% for C. So that's the distribution. So if you, for example, didn't do an entire question like A, that's 30 points right there. Now, of course, you didn't lose all the points if you got a piece of it wrong. So, for example, each of these, this would be about 10 points. The other F is 10 points of those 30, and then the explanation was another 10. So if you got the critical, you got the computed, and you got the explanation, then you got everything correct for these two. The 40% here comes from having the equation correct. And I would actually say that half of you, maybe a little bit more than half, got the entire equation correct. But if I'm not mistaken, I think only one of you got the 51.3 correct. And so that tells me that it tells me that there's some math issues when you're doing this part of the equation. So you have to be careful with, order of operations, right? You want to, if you're doing this equation, start with the left side, right? And you just calculate that, and everybody got that, of course. But on the right side, that's where things kind of fell apart a little bit for a lot of people. So you want to take 1/8, get that, 1/47, get that, add those together, multiply that times the 2580. Now you have what's within your square root term. Take the square root of that entire answer, then multiply that times the 2.641. And that will give you the 51.31. A lot of you got a number here, and then you went on to do the math. And of course, these will be wrong if you don't get this right. But I gave you partial credit when you at least, for example, if you still said negative, this part would be wrong, but the explanation could still end up correct. Because if you get negative, you're still going to say, well, because a confidence interval does not include 0, we know the difference is stat sig at 1%, right? A lot of you did come to that conclusion. Even though these numbers were wrong, I see that you still understood when you have no 0, right? You have a difference. So, and to me, that's important. That's an important conclusion. So you did get partial credit for that. Okay. So look over the answer you submitted. Look over this answer sheet, and then if you have any questions, let me know, and we can talk about that in Slack, by phone, or those would be the 2 places. All right. And that's it on any questions on participation 2 in terms of how to knock that out? Or
do you want us to turn it in the way that you have it right there? Because I know the last time I used I sent the whole Excel sheet to you, and it probably was a lot.
Right. Yeah, I don't necessarily need the Excel. This would be a format like this would be fine. And this is good because it's clear. I see your null, I see the alternate, I see the rejection, the critical, and the computed, and I have an explanation. So even though this isn't a lot, it still gets to the point. So no, I need to see your work, but not every micro step. I just need to know that there's a process that you follow to get it. And no, I certainly don't need the data set, the original data set in your answer sheet. All right. Okay, so let's get into chapter 15. And